Welcome back to Life at the Outpost. Here we are, the end of the normal season, and we've secured our spot in the finals. Well, we secured it a few weeks ago.
Well.
Yeah, all the naysayers, doubters, Broncos fans.
Any
Uh,
Broncos fans out there?
yeah, no. In all honesty, good turnaround from the boys from probably quarter of the way into the season toward the end. There, still been very up and down. That's non-debatable, really, but they've secured their spot. They secured fifth in the end by
At least
beating the
defensively,
Bulldogs.
anyway.
Yeah,
Defensively, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Beating the Bulldogs this weekend has seen them land in fifth spot. And now also with that fifth spot comes hosting the first elimination round at Queensland Country Bank Stadium this Saturday, which is up against the Knights now. We've just seen this weekend being anyway. We've just found out. So all things all things are looking positive so far. I think we'll go back to and have a look at the Storm game. The Storm game was a little bit probably wasn't as good as it should have been. I mean, very high scoring, 68 points between the two, so 38 points for the Cowboys, to the Storm 30. They almost look like they probably never got out of second gear or something. The Cowboys, I thought it was a little bit average in that sense that they probably should have put them to the sword a bit more with a few of the Melbourne first grade players out.
I still have to wonder if maybe that was the reason why it didn't happen like that. Maybe just having all the extra young blokes in was sort of like, we can probably coast.
Yeah,
But they really threatened. They still
is
threatened.
yeah, which is dangerous, and we've seen the boys do that week in week out at times throughout the year, where they've just coasted and either lost games they should have won or only just won games they should have absolutely dominated in. Mind you, not to say we would have absolutely dominated this game regardless, but we probably should have been a bit more ahead. Or Storm shouldn't have scored as many points as they did at the very least.
At least the point side of things, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. All in all, though, coming away with the win on that one there, so which is very good. Helped us push forward for that fifth position, which was quite handy. No sort of implication on the Storms finishing, but yeah, good for the boys anyway.
Yeah, geez, they looked in minor prem
A couple of weeks ago, yeah,
3 or 4 weeks out.
yeah,
4 weeks out.
definitely.
So.
And yes, we pushed on for fifth position, which leads us to this week against the Bulldogs, which an absolute 180 in all negatives that we've seen from the Cowboys anyway thus far. Even that game against the Bulldogs up here, they sort of still took it to us a couple months ago, and just absolutely dominated them. Yeah.
Yep. Vengeance.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, 100%. It just from start to finish. I mean, the first probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, it looked like it was going to be a contest. It was not try for try, but you know what I mean, set for set almost. Yeah. Until Felt went over for that try. They just sort of, and the Dogs, I think, started to run out a bit of steam, but the Cowboys really just defensively minded as well as their attack. Everything was just on point. You know, everything just seemed to click, and the boys all stood up. Maybe partially a bit of having Clifford there as well, helping with field position off kicks and things like that.
And they simply couldn't keep up with that.
Yeah, exactly right. It just sort of slowed them down, and it really fatigued the Dogs. You could see, like I said, man, 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in, the drop balls started happening, and
frustration.
Frustration, and the Dogs fellas, especially the forwards, trying to get on side after every tackle was just. Coupled with a few quick play the balls from the Cowboys there from us, it
does it does make you wonder how the rest of the season might have gone if we had Clifford in there.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a what if, but something we'll never find out. But as for team lists this coming week against the Knights, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Clifford take it again. I was of the thinking possibly Chad would probably be back and Clifford would still hopefully be in the side, but more or less play a 14 role, if not be there just to take over from Chad if he started doing pretty average. But yeah, from all signs from what we've seen so far is Peyton's handed that jersey to Clifford, I think. You think from a coach's perspective going into the finals where now it does matter. There was no implication prior. We weren't ever going to not play finals, but and he just maybe let Clifford have a bit of free rein and get a bit of confidence and a few games under the belt. But do we see Chad make his way back in now? Maybe that it's finals and you do want your experienced halves there, but this is something that's just sort of telling me I don't think we do.
I think maybe he is more experienced than thought.
Yeah. That or Chad's just probably played his last game in Cowboys colours, unfortunately for him, very possibly. So very very positive signs against the Dogs there. Very dominant win. I think almost everyone was getting a try at one point there. You know what I mean? It was almost anyone's ball. I think we had a fair few. I mean, Felt got his double, which was good. And
Felt double. Scotty got one.
Yep.
Val got one.
Yep.
Lukey got one.
Yep.
Jeez, who else?
Lukey got two almost, I think, didn't he? If not two, I think. One in the first and one in the second. I think we'll have a quick squeeze.
Oh, Muzz got a double.
No, he didn't. And Murray Talangi got a double at the end there. Too easy for the boys, it was. And Val, I mean, that was that awesome, chip and chase from Val to see himself, go over, and 100% kick percentage for Val there, which was good to see. 7 of 7. So the boys just really put on a clinic, I thought. And
hurts to know he's leaving, but
definitely, yeah, and that's something we'll probably talk about in the coming weeks. The gap he's going to leave.
Yeah, the impending sadness.
Despite his sort of up and down form throughout the year, I think it's definitely going to be a
positive vibes only for this final though.
Yeah, exactly. We're hoping he can take all this positive form he's had and good form he's had the last probably month or so, really take it.
How good would it be for a second ring for him?
Oh yeah, 100%. One with the boys too, one with the Cows. Just to seal his time out, as well as Felt getting his second one with the Cows there. His first sort of breakout year, one for that year, and then one for his last year with us. It'd be a great end of the story.
Dream come true, really.
Yeah, as well as Granville. Giving Granville one on his way out. Would be, I think, something, monumentous for the boys. Not a whole lot to talk about those two games. We've we glanced over the Melbourne game there. They just seemed like they didn't get out of second gear, I think, a bit, which was a bit tough. And then, this week against the Dogs, just really putting on that clinic and taking advantage of them, but being, I think, a bit fatigued in that, just putting the foot down and not letting up.
Really missing that centre power too. But I think with this whole finals in particular, we've got the Knights to go here. If we beat the Knights, that will either be versing. It'll be the result of the Roosters and Panthers, right?
Possibly, man. I don't know exactly how they work that out, but yes. So, results of Panthers Roosters, whoever loses
would then verse the winner of Cows Knights, I think.
Possibly, if not the winner of Sharks Storm. Oh, sorry, loser of Sharks Storm rather, and then possibly winner of Cowboys Knights plays winner of Bulldogs Sea Eagles. I don't quite know. I know it's really hard. How they say it's really hard to win a premiership out of anywhere below fourth.
Yeah.
I think being for that reason, but either way, we'll be looking at if we win against the Knights, which we'll have a quick chat about. If we win against the Knights, we'll be playing either Bulldogs or Sea Eagles. I think. Otherwise, it'll be one of those top teams. But
I was going to say, you really do. Man, you really don't want to verse either the Storm or the Shark in a final, man.
Yeah, not until right up at the end.
Not until the end,
yeah.
Yeah. That's
the playing the Knights. You've got the Knights who just sort of ended up getting that win against the Dolphins, scraping into the finals there. I think it's probably a positive for us. We've played them before, and albeit it was a pretty close game earlier in the season when we played and beat the Knights. I think just the form of both teams from what we've seen lately, they're making a bit of a resurgence or a late surge, the Knights, but I just don't think all over the field they've got enough between them. Halves pairing still up in the air, and I think a few of their forwards just aren't fully there. They aren't fully in form, whereas the Cows were just, it seems like everything's starting to click, or a lot of things are starting to click for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very positive signs for the boys. I think tipping the boys in this one most definitely anyway,
I would be,
regardless.
yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, I just think we probably just got it over them a bit in most places on the field there, whether
It's
it
really
be on the
probably
wing.
only just Ponga and Drinkwater that are probably the even part.
Yeah, yeah, you got to think that's it. Probably in terms of creativity and whatnot, you'd think looking at Drinkwater versus Pong is probably going to be the big one. Yeah, yeah, they still halves. I mean,
You
you
could
got
maybe also say best versus Vallejo as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
It's probably a little bit of a mismatch because Best is a bit bigger than him,
yeah. You would think
but he's also still. I still think he's carrying an injury. So
yeah, yeah. Well, he's formed. I mean, that game we just saw him play. We come back, he
mm,
just wasn't 100%.
mm.
I don't think he was 100% either. So you would have to hope the boys carrying the momentum they've had and hopefully a bit of confidence will just to be able to get it over them there. Um, yeah, there's not a whole lot more to talk about with him. I think we've still got to wait to see team lists to see what happens. But I just think Peyton's choices of bench have been pretty good the last couple of weeks, incorporating Michaeli in, which is something that should have been done earlier in the season and probably
Far earlier.
a bit more often, more so, outside of injury and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it's just been a positive from the get go. The last couple of weeks specifically, we've seen him come on at the opportune time and just bust the defensive line and get the offloads, and get those miraculous offloads and stuff like that. So meters gained just increases exponentially and stuff like that.
Same
So
with McIntyre. McIntyre's been a great
yeah,
inclusion.
and he's been when he's had to fill in and play run on spots and whatnot. He's played all year. He's just been great. He's improved leaps
But
and
even off
bounds.
the bench, he's been fantastic too.
Yeah, improved leaps and bounds this year, and I would say made it hard coming next year because obviously Hess will be back next year as well. He's made it hard to argue that he shouldn't have a spot, so there may be bit of a fight between a few players to get a few spots there on the bench, man.
Which is how it should be, though.
Yeah, exactly right. Keep them hungry and keep them playing for a spot there.
That's it. Keep them accountable.
Temalolo as well, coming back in form, albeit probably not, not breaking the world or anything like that. Just doing his job the last back end of the season since he's come back from that cheek fracture injury. Anyway, very positive, very positive. Anything you've picked up or want to chat about in particular? About
I think bit sad about Jimmy, but
oh yeah, in other news, yeah, definitely. We hear about Maloney this week or last week. We heard about him losing his job, unfortunately, due to a low-range drink driving incident, being picked up driving under the influence. Something I think as any leader should do. He copped it on the chin, right?
Copped it on the chin.
Yeah,
Man.
put his hand up, admitted default, and
low range or not, fellas, don't drink drive. It's dangerous.
Yep. Cowboys, they said it was an amicable sort of split, which, I mean, it's easy to say when you're the one firing him, but I think it didn't seem like there was any bad blood from his end either anyway. He, like you said, he put his hand up and he admitted fault in that one, but probably being pretty handy for us this year, and unfortunate that he's now leaving. It's sort of right before the finals. It's not what you want. You know what are your attacking coaches or whatever leaving, assistant coaches leaving.
And you can't say he hasn't made a pretty big impact. I think he's done incredibly well with some of our players.
Very handy, at times you always see him down there getting messages out to the boys or giving a bit of advice in that, during a kickoff or half time or something like that. So hopefully they can take what he's taught leading into the finals and make the most of it, most definitely. So yeah, outside of that, obviously Felt getting his 150th try for the club, so been top try scorer for a while, but setting the bar even higher for the next person, the next clubman to come through.
And there's still time for him to make 160.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Assuming we win every game.
Yep. And what a way that would be to see the big man out, the clubman out.
Jeez,
Felt,
imagine.
and I mean that news is only just broken probably in the last 2 weeks as well. Felt moving on at the end of the season off to St. Helens, I believe.
Yep.
Great
place to go.
Yeah, so a lot of other ex-NRL players this year specifically retiring and heading over there. So they'll get a lot of good use out of him, and he's probably got no better spot to go outside of the NRL anyway than there. They'll look after him. He'll make his bank and he'd be a good winger for them. He'll play whatever games they need him to, and I think great pickup for them.
I think he will in particular excel over there in that in the Super League. That's the thing.
Most definitely. And as well as Jakey Granville, he's obviously already played his last game and that, but he'll be around for the finals run for him to watch the boys go as far as they go. But two absolute club legends, I guess. Seeing their final days out at the club with the boys, they'll always forever be a big part of the club, most definitely. Anyway, so as we've sort of spoken on before in a few potties, I think for Felt specifically, someone who's, everyone's going to remember him for that grand final try, forever. He'll always be remembered for that one. That's exactly right. Amazing tries outside of that. He's an amazing finisher and flyer and stuff like that. Probably the biggest thing for me would be the little bit of a bump or slump in form he'd had over the last 2 years. Made it a bit hard for him to the point where he got dropped for a couple games, and then just finding a way to bring it back and turn it around completely and get back to that form that
ensure that he still got it.
Yeah, exactly right. That form that, and with competition for the spot with a couple players there, just showing that form that we know he can have, and scoring. That's it. Leading up that top try scorer tally.
Sad part about that too is that it wasn't really entirely his fault.
Yeah. There's a little bit of probably form from other players as well that sort of added to it. But outside of that, he definitely took it on the chin, I think, and he did everything he needed to do and got back to that monumental Kyle Felt try scoring form we knew he could, which is probably one of the biggest things I think I'll remember him for in Cowboys colours anyway.
100%.
And coming back and, like we said, getting that 150th try week just being, and like you said, hopefully aiming for that 160th just to set that bar even higher. So
really just hold that second spot comfy.
Yeah.
Very comfy.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, that's probably about it for other news, I think, outside of the club this week. I know the boys came back straight after that game against the Bulldogs, and they'll be getting their training and preparation, which is good. It'll be a big game on Saturday, so we hope all the local fans and anyone around about that can travel for it comes out and turns out to support the boys. It'll be no doubt a sellout anyway.
Definitely be a sellout.
Would be good to see them, to will them into week 2 of the finals, and I'd like to see them play because I'm hoping they'll play on the Saturday, which is the night of my birthday. We can stream that, or we party a bit. That'd be good to watch. But I think the boys are all signs are positive leading ahead. You don't want to get complacent, which we've seen happen at times, most definitely. But I think the boys are likely to get up in this game. Sticking to their systems anyway. I think they can get up in this game and make a good run into the finals. Further into the finals, man. They're probably one of the dark horse, if not the dark horse team.
I think we are the dark horse team this year.
Most definitely. Yeah. Yep.
I think people have high expectations of both the Eagles and the Dogs.
Yep.
So,
yep.
I think that makes us the dark horse for once.
Yep. Yeah, most definitely. Outside of that, I don't think there's a whole lot more to talk about just yet.
That's it.
As we said, the regular season's over, so now we're talking finals.
Next week is the real talking point.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be back either way. We'll be back with one more episode at the very least, being a review of this week, and then it'll be week 2 of the finals if we make it that far.
Or maybe a finals review as well.
And then review into how they go in week 2, or how they went in week 2 rather, and then who they've got come prelims, I think it'll be by that time. So once we get to that, we'll have it all in the next episode, and then like you said, whether we do one more, just a little wrap up of the year, but for the normal season, thanks everyone for tuning in so far. I mean, I imagine anyone that does listen is probably still going to be listening because we've got a bit more footy to talk about anyway, and hopefully a bit more positivity to talk about, moving forward as well. So wasn't anything else you wanted to touch on, really? There wasn't a whole lot of news this week.
I think we got it all after Jimmy. So
yeah, exactly.
And Kyle and Jakey.
Yep. So horns up, go the Cowboys, up the Cows. We'd love to see them take down the Knights and move on into week 2 of the finals. As always, give us a follow, Life at the Outpost podcast, Instagram, YouTube, and have a listen on any one of your streaming platforms there. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, hopefully talking about Cowboys making a run for the grand final. Till next time.